Hello and welcome to Security Weekly News, episode 485 on June 13, 2025. This week we have $200,000 Zoom call, Microsoft Teams, Interpol, ZeroClick, junk food, China, and hard drive with 649 million of Bitcoin. All this and more on Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News. Imagine a world where every threat, ransomware, supply chain attacks, zero-day exploits, is stopped before it can even begin. ThreatLocker makes that world a reality with a zero-trust approach to cybersecurity. By giving you granular control on every executable that can happen in your environment, ThreatLocker protects your business around the clock. No more guessing, no more gaps, just rock-solid protection that keeps your operations running smoothly and your data secure. Discover how ThreatLocker's least privilege approach can safeguard your organization against known and unknown threats. Take the first step toward total peace of mind. Visit securityweekly.com/ThreatLocker today.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Aaron Leyland, and if you're lucky enough to watch and not only listen to us, you're in for a treat. Your normal service will resume with Dr. Doug and the team next week. So let's get into the news, fire hose style. Okay, first we have Echolak AI attack enabled theft of sensitive data via Microsoft 365 Copilot. Okay, imagine your AI assistant turning into an insider threat. We all knew it was going to happen. Echolak is a newly revealed ZeroClick exploit, the best ones, that silently coerced Microsoft 365 Copilot into leaking sensitive corporate data. So an attacker could simply send a cleverly crafted email, and without any user click, Copilot's AI would harvest and exfiltrate confidential info from prior chats and emails. This indirect prompt injection fooled Copilot's defenses by disguising malicious instructions as benign content, like everything I put into Copilot. So the big takeaway is that AI helpers integrated into our workflows can be weaponized. It's a wake-up call to put guardrails on AI systems. Honestly, Microsoft has loads of good tools within Purview and stuff to look at this. And you can ensure that they distinguish trusted data from the tainted bait stuff. Like just having our tools turned against us. And that's what AI is all about, right? Okay, next. Former Black Basta members, that was hard to say, use Microsoft Teams and Python scripts in 2025 attacks. So dismantling a ransomware brand doesn't eliminate its operators because they're just there, right? So former Black Basta affiliates have resurfaced with fresh tricks, blending old and new tactics to infiltrate organizations this year. So as everyone is, they're spearphishing employees through Microsoft Teams chats, impersonating IT support via seemingly legitimate on Microsoft.com, all one word, domains, and even compromised company domains to appear trusted. Once in, they unleash Python scripts fetched from curl to establish footholds, escalate control, and deploy malware. This approach, combined with flooding users' inbox, email bombing to mask alerts, shows their adaptive playbook. The strategic insight is that obviously we need to monitor these platforms rigorously, just like email, and watch for unusual script activity. Good luck. These ex-Basta, someone's really having a joke here. These ex-Basta operators illustrate how threat actors pivot rapidly, abusing trust in internal tools and cloud services like OneDrive, Google Drive to hide their attacks. So us security teams must extend zero trust thinking. I'll send you crazy because zero trust is so hard. but extend it to communications apps and be ready for increasingly code-heavy post-compromise techniques. Next, Interpol dismantles 20,000 plus malicious IPs linked to 69 malware variants in Operation Secure. Who came up with that name? Global law enforcement just struck a major blow against the cyber criminal infrastructure. Some would say a small drop in the sea, but anyway, in Operation Secure, Interpol coordinates across 24 countries. Actually, have a look at the budget of Interpol. I'm not going to tell you what it is, just have a look what it is. Across 24 countries with cybersecurity firms to target Asia originating info stealer malware campaigns. The takedown tally is quite impressive, with over 20,000 malicious IP addresses and domains knocked offline, 41 servers seized, and 32, this is COVID, and 32 suspects arrested, including the kingpins in Vietnam and Sri Lanka. Nearly 70 distinct, they say, info stealing malware variants like Luma, Rise Pro, Vidar, and Ramamathith were identified and disrupted. That's all pretty cool, to be fair. Crucially, 16,000 or 216,000 victims to their friends were notified to mitigate damage from stolen credentials and financial data. The practical win here is twofold: chokes off the infrastructure and shows us that if we collaborate, we can get somewhere, right? But it does show you info stealers are still a problem, and they're fueling ransomware and fraud. We need to take notice, invest in monitoring, like monitor for outbound data to unknown sites. And look, lean on threat intel sharing, but I could be here all day talking about what a nightmare threat intel sharing is. Even as law enforcement cleans up swathes of malicious infrastructure, they will retool, stay vigilant, and look for signs of threat. Next, Sinotrack GPS devices vulnerable to remote vehicle control via default passwords. The Internet of Things colliding with real world danger, as always. Two critical flaws in Sinotrack vehicle GPS units expose a totally nightmare scenario. Attackers remotely cutting off a car's fuel and tracking its location. I don't know which is worse. So, using nothing more than a browser, it has been discovered that these devices share a default admin password, and the username is just a short ID printed on each unit. Researchers actually found that by guessing or obtaining those IDs from eBay photos at sometimes, and then using the unchanged default creds, and anyone that could do that could pull up hundreds of live vehicle dashboards and send commands. It's crazy. At the time of me reading this, there was no patch, and the only fix was for owners to change those defaults and hide device identifiers. For us, stark example, strong authentication, basic config hygiene. It's like we just need to get involved in that. It's like IoT manufacturers stop shipping gear with one size fit all passwords because it's just ridiculous. And we need to randomize credentials on connected devices. Okay, next, EU step up on cybersecurity as dependence on US laid bare. This is a hot topic because I feel the US is paying. Yes, provide all your cool tech, but make the EU pay for it, right? Europe is having a cybersecurity awakening. A recent funding scare with a key EU cyber program nearly lost US financial support. I hear none of you's crying. Exposed just how heavily Europe leans on American resources. Now the EU vows to step up its cyber defense, accelerating plans to build an independent security backbone. Strategically, this means pouring investment into European threat intelligence, local cloud and crypto solutions, and perhaps a centralized EU cyber agency to coordinate efforts. All this needs to be done. The subtext for us is they expect in the UK and that Europe, more homegrown European security standards and collaborations, and potentially less automatic reliance on NIST frameworks, which most of us are using, right? Or US intelligence feeds. Just make us pay for it. The risk implication is positive but challenging. Europe aims to reduce a single point of failure, which is over reliance on US support. I feel you. By diversifying its cyber capabilities, and in practice, organizations operating in Europe should prepare for new compliance requirements and opportunities to engage with emerging European cyber initiatives. If it happens, total push for digital sovereignty, can't say it right, underscores a sharp opinion shared by many. Look, security resilience in the UK needs to improve, and in Europe shouldn't be leaning on the US. We just pay for it, right? Easy. Okay, next. ZeroClick AI vulnerability exposes Microsoft 365 Copilot data without user interaction. Look, this is just another story about that. And it's like it goes into it further, just about it scooping up secrets. And but this story led on from the other one that Microsoft patched, and no action needed by customers. But there is no sign it was abused in the wild. But strategic lesson, it's like it's not a hallucination. AI can be manipulated. We need prompt sanitization. It's like you need to look at this. I actually don't go to many cyber dinners, and I went to a really good one last night. And I think eSite or something. Oh, I can't remember. But the chat on this is really good, and you need to get into it. Okay, next. Hacker targets other hackers and gamers with backdoored GitHub code. Doug was talking about this last week. Goes back to Cult of the Dead Cow and Back Orifice. And you put up something shiny on the internet and it's free. Maybe it's not so shiny, but okay. It goes on about, if you think only newbies get pwned, think again. This is going after us, technical type people, and the threat actor crafted dozens of malicious GitHub repositories offering hacks, cheats, even fake exploits, knowing that curious hackers and gamers would bite. The code lurks in the supposed free remote access tools or exploit builders, and then they're booby trapped, had hidden build scripts that pulled in malware when compiled, and others had packed obfuscated payloads in what looked like harmless code. Sophos uncovered one persona, ISCHHFD83, however you pronounce that. And they were maintaining over 130 backdoored projects, even using automated bots to pump thousands of fake commits so the repos appeared active and legit. And that was just pumping out rats and stealers, ones like Async Rat, Luma Stealer, and more. And then once auth victims pumped out and ran the code, it just happened and it all went bad, basically. But like code provenance checks, sandboxing untrusted tools. I guess the funny bit is here that script kiddies, hackers hunting for freebies ended up being pwned themselves. So all good. But right, look, if you're like in the dev world and you're on GitHub, and if something has crazy amount of commit histories, look at it twice, right? Okay, next, non-human identities, how to address the expanding security risk. So we talk about user logins, MFA, but machines have identities as well, and you will all know this. So these non-human accounts, API service accounts, CI/CD tokens, bots, far outnumber human users in many enterprises, and this stated a metric of sometimes 100 to 1. They can be a massive blind spot. Secrets, credentials, keys, tokens tied to these identities sprawl across code repos, config files, and code cloud services, and mostly unrotated and unmanaged, right? So low-hanging fruit for the attackers. Leaked machine credentials, this article says, have led to some really high-profile breaches, and I'm sure we've all heard about them. And what's been leaked has been cloud console keys or CI/CD tokens opening the door. So good part, OWASP, amazing. Now I have a new OWASP top 10. Try and remember that. I still can't remember the other ones. It changed once and I'm not sure the order anymore. But OWASP top 10 for human identities, flags, secret leakage as top threat. So OS top 10 doing good stuff there. Hard truth, traditional IAM and vaulting solutions aren't enough. They don't cover the full life cycle. You need to find stray secrets, and enforce least privilege continuously. I don't know how I'm going to say this, but embrace tools, hopefully a tool you already have. Well, number one, number two, you inventory of hardware, inventory of software, right? Inventory everything, even machine identities, scan for exposed secrets in source code, chat logs, everywhere, right? And automate. This is big, right? Automate your credential rotation and reservation. Another word I can't say. Shouldn't write it if I can't say it. Okay. DevSecOps partnership, developers and security together must wrangle zombie API keys and overprivileged service accounts. Look, if you're only managing human accounts, there's so much of the landscape that you're missing. You need to get into the non-human identities. Look, zero trust. It's all about zero trust, but in practice, so hard. Just check the repositories, the areas for forgotten key, but that's just sat there waiting to be found. Okay, next, and what is the fire hydrant of cyber today? Let them eat junk food. Major organic supplier to Whole Foods and Walmart hit by cyber attack. So attacking a food distributor might sound like some boring movie, but totally real. Been happening in the UK. Co-op, Marks and Spencer's, so big they're getting smashed all over the place. But one that you in America will know, United Natural Foods Inc., and they're the primary supplier of food I can't afford, organic foods, a shop I can't afford to go to, Whole Foods, one I can't afford, Walmart, and others suffered a cyber attack that forced systems offline and disrupted deliveries. Look over here, Marks and Spencer's. 6 weeks it's down. Only come back up recently. Like big feel for you over there, Marks Spencer's. So while details still emerging, the incident bears the hallmarks of ransomware. Although at the time of writing this, I didn't find a gang that had claimed it. It goes beyond IT. When a company moving $30 billion in groceries can't fulfill orders, look, risk empty shelves, spoiled perishables. There was a quote in here that one CISO hitting a distributor is freezing the supply chain itself. I like what they did there. So, as M&S, the stock, I don't know, at one point was down 6, 8, 10% or something like that. Their stock took a hit and they're scrambling with manual workarounds to keep the food flowing. Look, supply chain risk, look at it. I was talking to Risk Ledger recently. They do third party risk management of like a cyber thing. It looked really cool. Have a look at that. Have a look at others as well, but have a look at that one. But it says, and I agree, critical infrastructure now includes food logistics. And a breach can cascade into the physical world with like proper consequences, right? And this is funny. When organic veggies turn to junk food on their tables because the supplier got hacked, then we really understand what cyber resilience means. Oh no, it's like my milk doesn't have omega-3s in it. Okay, next. Misconfigured HMIs expose US water systems to anyone with a browser. Sometimes the biggest vulnerabilities are hiding in plain sight. Research teams scanning the internet stumbled on hundreds of water treatment plant control panels, HMIs, accessible online, many without even a password. Live dashboards showed chlorine pump levels, tank indicators, apparently according to them, the works. Even scarier, about 40 systems were completely open, allowing anyone with a web browser to potentially tweak. This is what it says, potentially tweak chemical feeds or shut off pumps. It's not a targeted hack. It's a pure misconfiguration, oversight by the utilities vendors. Good news. It's no one noticed. Authorities moved fast. Look, someone noticed. Strategically, they were probably in there, but it's good that they find it. Collective defense, get it switched off. Come the day of the big war, if that ever happens, hope not. It's pushing those that might want to do us harm out of them environments. Look at your IP space. No admin on HMIs. It's not acceptable. Good for the researchers. Let's move forward. Okay, next. Follow the smoke. China Nexus threat actors hammer at the door of top tier targets. Look, this reverts back to what I was just talking about. State-aligned hackers testing the fences of the world's most secure organizations, even cybersecurity vendors. Look for the report. Follow the smoke. APT 15. Like literally, they tried to breach SentinelOne through indirect means, and this is by compromising an IT services firm in its supply chain. Look, these are low and slow malware like Shadow, Pad, and clusters.persolhage. Apparently, there's 70 victims worldwide. Look, these guys, they're in there, they're low, they're slow, nobody's off limits, they're right where they want to be. SentinelOne caught it this time, publicized it for transparency. Brilliant. Good on you, SentinelOne. That's what we want. Now, in second last, the $200,000 Zoom call. One slip on a Zoom call cost a crypto CEO a fortune and taught us all a lesson in social engineering. So it's being called, there'll be a movie, the $200,000 Zoom scam. So prominent blockchain entrepreneur was invited to a video interview, appeared to be a legitimate YouTube channel. During the call, the interviewer, who had camera off and a voice convincing apparently, asked for a live demo of the CEO's new crypto tool. He wanted to show it and unknowingly somehow granted remote control. And then in the article it says, in a flash, the scammer likely grabbed wallet credentials or executed transactions. The next day, the CEO prized NFTs. Who has a prized NFT? NFTs. Actually, message me on LinkedIn if you know anything actually tangibly, functionably good about an NFT that's actually happened and isn't an ape that Justin Bieber bought for way too much money and it's now worth practically nothing. So anyway, prized NFTs and crypto holdings were being sold off for pennies and his social media accounts were hijacked. He estimates, might be insurance, I don't know. How much is an NFT worth anyway? He estimates up to $200,000 was stolen in moments. This is a caution because other things like this have happened recently. The guy off, I can't remember what you call it. The show where people come on and they pitch a product. Not ours is Dragon's Den. Yours something else. But anyway, he got hit by like Shark Tank. Way, thank you, production. He got hit for like 40,000 on wallets that he wasn't really paying attention to because hey, it was only 40,000. Okay, practical advice, straightforward. Look, unsolicited screen share requests. Just look, don't do it. It's like think of it as the old days, or it probably still happens. Random USB drive, extreme skepticism. Look, use a clean machine for accounts and demos. Verify who's at the other end. But look, platform design, Zoom, a little bit culpable here as well, because the prompt for remote control is like, maybe it's too easy to press, right? Maybe a Zoom should fix this. Have a UX fix. Okay, remember, A video meeting can be an attack vector. Human instinct. Look, we all look, I'm here gesticulating to you. A human instinct is to be helpful and show off tech. And it can be weaponized, right? So slow down, think. We used to call it a Hamlet moment, maybe a Condor moment. I don't know if that resonates. But if it feels off, it is off. Okay. And I can breathe in a second after this story because it's and finally, but this is a story that runs and runs. For 12 years, he's been searching for his hard drive containing currently $649 million worth of Bitcoin in a landfill. Today's story is about to take a new turn. The saga of the lost Bitcoin fortune in the dump is moving from forum lore to fully fledged media spectacle. I could just think of spectacle bears now, maybe going through the dump looking for some food, and 649 big numbers, 650 million nearly Bitcoin. So the IT worker who this article says in 2013 mistakenly tossed a hard drive, now roughly worth $500 million plus. And look, I've read lots of stories in this. I've been following it for 12 years. And some of them says he literally blames his girlfriend at the time. Take ownership, dude. But he spent over a decade pleading to excavate the Welsh landfill to retrieve it. Of course, this is the UK and especially Wales. Bureaucracy and environmental concerns blocked him at every turn. Now his crazy quest, look, it's been there for 12 years. What are the chances that it could actually be recoverable? Well, it'd be fun finding out. I guess that would be the end of the movie, right? Or movie 2. But anyway, it's taken a new turn with an American production company securing exclusive rights to a story, a documentary series, which is going to be titled The Buried Bitcoin, apparently. And podcasts are in the works. Look, the dude lost his hard drive. It's got loads of stuff. How interesting can this be? Production must be amazing on this. But anyway, it's going to bring it to global attention, maybe fresh resources to his treasure hunt. But from a cybersecurity perspective, this story, cautionary tale, look, your crypto wallets, they can go missing. You can lose keys. There is a funny bit of the story that he's pitched using AI-driven robots and air filters to safely search the dump. Okay, there's going to be new investors. It's all going to get cool. It's going to be super fun, hopefully done by someone really cool. But don't forget, look after this stuff. But I guess this guy, he just shows crazy persistency, but I guess so would you for over $500 million. Okay, that's it from me from Ireland, but in London, thank you to Dr. Doug for being so popular and busy and well regarded on the conference circuit. I don't get asked. Well, I do, but not to any cool ones anyway. Definitely not where he is. Okay, to end another happy week in cyber, peace out, party people.